Quick background so you know I'm not just some random guy on the internet, although technically I am some random guy on the internet. I started woodworking in a one-car garage with a $90 circular saw from a pawn shop and a miter saw my father-in-law was going to throw away. No fancy shop, no CNC, no $5,000 table saw. I started selling because my wife said, and I quote, "If you bring one more cutting board into this house, I'm leaving." Fast forward to today, I've sold hundreds of pieces online. Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, my own website. Some months great, some months humbling. Everything I'm about to share comes from real sawdust under the fingernails experience. All right, let's go. Lesson number 1. Your price is probably wrong. This is a walnut cutting board. Edge grain, mineral oil finish. Took me about 3 hours to make. First time I sold one, $35. $35 for 3 hours of skilled labor plus $22 in materials. That's $13 for 3 hours of work. That's less than minimum wage. That's insulting, and I was the one insulting myself. Here's what I wish I knew. Most beginning woodworkers price based on guilt. We think, well, I enjoyed making it, so it feels weird to charge a lot. Or, well, I wouldn't pay $80 for a cutting board. But you are not your customer. Your customer wants something handmade and one of a kind. They can't make it, they don't want to make it, and they associate price with quality. Actually ran an experiment. Same cutting board, same photos, listed one at $35, one at $79. The $79 one sold first in 2 days. The $35 one sat there for 3 weeks. Because when someone sees $35 for a handmade walnut cutting board, their brain goes, what's wrong with it? So here's the formula. Materials plus your time at $25 to $35 per hour minimum, plus overhead, plus profit margin. If the final number scares you, good. That probably means it's right. Lesson 2. You don't need a huge product line. See all this stuff behind me? Cutting boards, shelves, frames, coasters, phone stands, a random wooden flag. This was my shop 6 months in. I thought I needed variety, more products, more chances to sell. I was dead wrong, and it almost burned me out. Here's what actually works. Pick 2, maybe 3 products. Master them. Get your process so dialed in you can make them almost on autopilot. When I finally narrowed down to 3 core products, a specific wall art style, a signature cutting board, and custom floating shelves, everything changed. Production time dropped 40%, material waste dropped, my listings started performing better because reviews were concentrated on fewer products. Think about it like a restaurant. The best restaurants don't have 47-page menus. They have tight menus and execute them perfectly. Be the woodworking equivalent of that amazing taco truck that only sells 4 things, but every single one is incredible.
Lesson 3. Photography is 80% of the sale. This one hurt my ego. I spent weeks perfecting a set of walnut coasters, hand-shaped, beautiful chamfered edges, flawless finish, genuinely some of the best work I'd ever done. Then I took photos on my workbench under fluorescent shop lights with sawdust in the background. They looked like evidence photos from a crime scene. Nobody bought them for 2 months. Then my wife, who's way smarter than me, said, "Let me take the photos." She put them on our kitchen counter near a window with a cup of coffee and a little plant in the background. Same coasters, sold in 48 hours, and then the next set sold and the next. The product didn't change. The story the photo told changed. The first photo said, "Here's a thing I made in my garage." The second said, "Here's what your Saturday morning could look like." You do not need a professional camera. Your phone is fine. What you need is natural light near a window, a clean, simple background, lifestyle context showing the product in use, and multiple angles, including detail shots and scale shots. Online, people can't touch your work. They can't feel how smooth that finish is. The photo is everything. Spend 20 minutes on photos. It's worth more than an extra hour of sanding. I promise you. Lesson 4, shipping will break you if you let it. My third sale ever was a live edge shelf. Sold for $95. Felt amazing. Then I went to ship it. Couldn't find a box that fit, drove to 3 stores, finally bought a custom box for $14. Packing materials, another $8. Shipping cost, $32 because it was heavy and oversized. Grand total to ship, $54 on a $95 item. and I'd charge the customer $12 for shipping because I just guessed. I ate $42 in shipping costs and made less than nothing. Here's what I learned. Always calculate shipping before you set your price. Go to USPS, UPS, FedEx websites and know the real number. Build shipping into your product price and offer free shipping. A $90 item with $15 shipping feels worse than a $105 item with free shipping. Same money, human brains are weird. Consider going local first when you're starting. Facebook Marketplace, craft fairs, word of mouth, no shipping. They pick it up. You keep all the profit. And design products that are easy to ship. Flat wall art ships way easier than bulky three-dimensional pieces. Think about shippability as part of your product design. This isn't sexy advice, but it's the stuff that determines whether you actually make money or just move money around. Lesson 5, the game changer, having plans and systems. Remember when I said number 5 changed everything? I wasn't exaggerating. This is the one. Lean in. For my first year selling online, I was winging it, every single project starting from scratch, measuring, remeasuring, figuring out joinery on the fly, making mistakes, wasting wood, wasting time. And time, when you're trying to sell, is literally money. I'd spend 8 hours making something I could have made in 3 if I just had a solid plan from the start. A cut list, a materials list, step-by-step instructions, tested dimensions. And here's the other problem. I was limiting myself to the same 5 projects I already knew how to make because I didn't have the confidence or blueprints to try anything more ambitious. And the more ambitious stuff, that's where the real money is. When I finally invested in a proper library of woodworking plans, detailed step-by-step, with cut lists, measured drawings, it was like someone turned the lights on. Suddenly, I could make pieces I never would have attempted on my own. And I could make them fast because I wasn't guessing. The resource that made the biggest difference for me was Ted's woodworking plans. I've got a link down in the description. Over 16,000 plans, furniture, outdoor projects, home decor, small gift items, all with step-by-step instructions, cut lists, materials lists, detailed diagrams. Here's why it matters for selling specifically. When you have a library like that, you can quickly prototype new products. You see what's trending, mid-century modern plant stands, rustic bathroom shelves, find a plan, build a prototype in a weekend, photograph it, list it, see if it sells. If it does, you already have a repeatable system to build more. That's the difference between a hobby and a business. Systems, repeatability, efficiency, and it starts with solid plans. Check out the link in the description. Especially if you're stuck making the same 3 things over and over, this will blow the doors open. And if you're a weekend warrior with limited shop time, having a plan that tells you exactly what cuts to make, exactly what materials to buy, means you're not wasting your Saturday figuring things out. You're building, and building is the fun part.
Lesson 6. You're not selling wood, you're selling a story. Same cutting board, same wood, same design, same finish. One listing says, walnut cutting board, 12 by 18 inches, mineral oil finish, $65. The other says, hand-shaped from a single slab of American black walnut, this cutting board is finished with food-safe mineral oil and built to be the centerpiece of your kitchen for decades. Each board has unique grain, no two are alike, makes a perfect wedding gift, housewarming gift, or a well-deserved upgrade to your own kitchen. Same board, wildly different perceived value. The first is a description, the second is a story, and people buy stories. Talk about where the wood came from. Talk about why you chose this design. Talk about who this piece is for. Paint a picture of it in their life, on their wall, in their kitchen, on their patio. Here's a ninja tip. I started including a handwritten note with every order. Simple index card saying, "This piece was handcrafted in my home workshop. I hope it brings as much joy to your home as I had building it." Cost? Basically nothing. Impact? Massive. People started leaving 5-star reviews mentioning the note. They started sharing photos on social media. They started buying again. In a world of mass-produced everything, you being a real human in a real workshop is your ultimate competitive advantage. Don't hide it.
Lean into it. Lesson 7. Start before you're ready. I almost didn't start. I looked at other shops with beautiful workshops, CNC machines, laser engravers, Instagram pages with 50,000 followers, and I thought, I can't compete with that. I'm just a guy with a miter saw in a messy garage. Here's what I've learned. There's a massive market for handmade goods, and it's growing every year. Customers aren't looking for factory perfection. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for character. They're looking for something made by human hands, imperfections and all. Your first listing doesn't have to be perfect. Your first photos won't be great. Your first price will probably be too low, and that's fine. You'll learn, you'll adjust, you'll get better with every sale. The only thing you can't fix is never starting. If you've got a garage full of projects and people keep saying you should sell these, listen to them. They're right. You don't need a $10,000 shop. You don't need a business degree. You don't need permission. You need a product, a phone for photos, an internet connection, and the willingness to learn as you go. All right, let's recap fast. 1. Price your work fairly. Stop undercharging. 2. Go narrow and deep. 2 or 3 killer products beat 50 mediocre ones. 3. Invest 20 minutes in good photos. Highest ROI activity in your entire business. 4. Respect the shipping math or it will eat you alive. 5. Get a solid library of plans so you can build faster and scale. Link in the description. 6. Sell the story, not the specs. You're a craftsperson, not a lumberyard. 7. Start today. Before you're ready. You'll never feel ready. Do it anyway. Now, here's my ask. If this video saved you even one of the mistakes I made, hit that subscribe button. I'm building a channel for real woodworkers, not the ones with $50,000 shops, the ones with a miter saw and a dream and sawdust in weird places. I've got videos coming on exactly what products sell best online, how to set up your first Etsy shop, and how to photograph your work like a pro with just your phone. Smash that like button because every thumbs up tells YouTube to show this to more woodworkers who need to hear it. And there's someone out there right now about to charge $20 for a cutting board that took 4 hours to make. Let's save that person. Share this video. And one more time, the Woodworking Plans resource with over 16,000 step-by-step projects, link is right below this video in the description. First link, single best investment I made going from guy who makes stuff to guy who makes stuff and money. Go check it out. All right, I've talked enough. Time to go make some sawdust. Go build something and then go sell it.